This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so question for the day is what is ELK? Okay, what is ELK? Now, I would say we used to use ELK, okay, uh, the name because of there are three tools involved in it. One is Elasticsearch. This is together you write Elasticsearch, and then plus Logstash plus Kibana. These are the three tools which is coming together and then making it ELK. But I would say basically there are four tools actually. We have Elasticsearch also, we have a Logstash, Kibana, and plus Beats. Okay, these are the four tools. So you can say it's not the ELK, ELBK means Beats and Kibana. That is also popular combination actually. So this is the four tools coming together and creating a ELK stack. Now this stack was created by which company? So this company name it from Elastic. Okay. And now these all tools which you see here is written in Golang. Okay. Sorry, my bad. This is written in Java. Now this whole things is written in Java, and now we need to understand why do we need it. Okay, why do we need it? So each tool you can see that here has a certain rules and responsibility to play it out. So for example, if you look at the first, let's start with the beats. Okay, so beats basically collect matrices. Okay, matrices. Now you will say collect matrices, but from where? So various sources and send it to multiple options are given. This is we can call it output, but generally we can say send to send to Logstash or Elasticsearch. Okay. Now I'll put it in a all the list which you can think of it. These bits is one utility which is called configure and can collect the matrices from various sources. Now that we call it input. Okay. So let me put all the input from the directly from the website. That will be easier for you. So beats Elasticsearch. Here it is. So there's a different kinds of beats you will find it. Okay. So what beats? File beat, metric beat, packet beat, will log beat, audit beat, heartbeat, function beat. So these are the different utilities written for collecting different data. For example, file beat, if you install it, then you can read any file. Basically, you can collect the data and logs from, when you say matrices, not only matrices, logs also. Okay, so any data you can collect from the file. Metric beat also you can collect the data from the Linux server, that means Linux CPU, RAM, network, and all. If you want that data, then you can collect the metric bit. Packet bit, basically from the networking. Will log bit, you can go for the Windows event log. Windows event log means here event viewer you might be checking out. So these are the data if you want to capture, collect, then you can use when log bit. Audit bit for the audit related data. Heartbeat you can check for the some uptime monitoring, whether this endpoint is up or not, the URL is up or not, something like that, API is up or not, like that. Function bit is for the server list, like a lambda and all kind of, is primarily used in the cloud only. So now these are the different types of beats you have available, and this we call it input. Okay, so these are the list of inputs which you have. Now, I just said output also required. So primarily in these sessions, we'll discuss output to the Logstash or Elasticsearch. But there's so many supports are there actually. We call it output plugin. So how do I know that which are the output plugins? So I will ask. I will ask this page itself, list of output. I want pretty simple page. So let's search in Google beats output plugin. Output means where it can send the data. This is the input. Uh, See here, uh, input plugin. This is the input plugin where it can connect the data, and output plugin. Here it is. So this is the output plugin. Here it is. So basically, it can send the data to multiple places. Okay, but right now we'll not talk about each and everything. We'll talk about just a second. This is a beat output plugin. I think this we can refer it for the few list, but let's focus on this one. So bits at the overall, it collect the data and send to Logstash or Elasticsearch. Are we comfortable with it? All of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
is each Beats an agent that needs to be installed on every server?
Depends on what kind of data you want. Yeah, not every
Okay.
server. Let's say you want Windows data, the WinLog bit. If you want the Linux data, the metric bit. But if you want the some data from the some file, like a log and all, then file bit. So this file bit will help you to logs, metric bit metric, packet also metric, winlog bit event logs, audit bit sub audit information policies and all. Heartbeat just check the website up and uptime and all, and so on. So depends on what kind of data you want to collect. Different utilities are there. Okay. Okay. So now the question is, it send the data to Logstash and Elasticsearch. So the question is, what is Logstash? Logstash, basically, when you say, just read the keyword log stash, simple. So one thing which I understood from this is useful for logs only, not for metrics. Okay, this is useful, more useful for the logs. And what you do, stashing a log. See here. So now you understood that automatically what exactly it could be used for. So basically, log stash is a parser. You can call it parser, or you can also say filter. Okay, or you can also say transformer. Anything which you like to say. For what? For what? For logs. So why do we need this? Simple reason. See, we don't want to send and store all the data. We want data means log here I'm saying. You don't want to send and store all the logs. You want to only store the useful log. For example, if you look at the log file, there are info also, error also. but you don't need a info for analysis purpose, because if you start storing everything, then it's going to create lots of problem. If you are going to create a lots of problem in terms of storage, search, and searching will be very time consuming because of huge database and all. Many other reasons are there. So you want to transform, you want to parse the logs, and you want to store only the logs which you wanted uh, to in the storage. You want to filter the logs as per your things. You want to transform the logs. Transform means some information is coming and you want to add some mathematical formulas, and you want to transform and put it in a different way altogether. Okay, so if you want to do all this stuff in simple way, you call it log stash, stashing the log, then you have to use log stash. If you don't want to parse, if you don't want to filter, you don't want to transform the logs, then you don't need log stash. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the second component which we have. So second component basically primarily used for the stashing the log. Now here also we have input. Here also we have input and output. So in this session we are only focusing on the ELK stack. But you know what? Logstash can be used in a many generic ways also. Okay. So first thing, what is the output plugin available? So this you can use this here. That means output means where it can send to after the processing. So if you look at this here, a lot of options are there. A lot. See here, you can send in CSV file, you can send to file itself, but our concern right now is Elasticsearch. See, in FluxDB also you can do that, and so many options are there. Okay, in this sessions we'll focus only on Elasticsearch. That means output means sending after transforming the logs, it can send to Elasticsearch. This is the one. See, store logs in Elasticsearch. How this plugin will help us. So this is the stuff, but what is the input? So let me ask log stash input. Okay, see that here. It can, for my sessions, I will take the input from the beats, but literally, it has so many options are there. That means Logstash can take input from many sources, transform the data, and send to output. Okay. So these are the list of things which you have. So why you need this list of things? Because sometimes what happens, you have project requirements where data may come from the different inputs, and you have no idea. So in that case, you should refer this page for the better visualization. So simple thing, as part of the ELK, we collect the data from the beats, and data, it can be metrics and logs and different types of data which I talked about it here. And then, but logs you can send it to Logstash also, and for parsing, filtering, transforming. And after that, we want to send to Elasticsearch, which is the last component. Now, Elasticsearch is basically your storage. Okay, nothing else but storage. That means all the data which is coming from here, you can store it. Okay, so I will ask in a simple way actually. Have you used any database such as MySQL or something like that?
I use SQL.
You have used, right? What about other people?
I have an idea about it, but I haven't worked on database
Yeah,
before.
yeah. So I'll put it in a very simple way. Okay. You have any database, okay? Any database. It's not only Elasticsearch. Take it in general. So what you do? So database is for the storage, correct? Now, now what we'll have? Let me put it this way. Database we have storage, and in the database if you want to store the data, you primarily do the CRUD. Correct now? CRUD means create, read, update, and delete. So that way database is updated. After doing the CRUD, what you do, you can do the searches also. Okay, and in fact, you can do uh, ranking also. How I'll talk about it. Okay, how I'll talk about it. So CRUD you can do to store the data, read the data, update the data, and delete the data. You can search also, you can perform, and ranking also can be done. So normal database ranking is not there, but Elasticsearch is a special kind of database where ranking is there. Okay, searching is also there. In a normal database like MySQL and all, search will not be there. Rank will not be there. These two functionality will not be there. Okay.
What what is ranking here?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Search using DSL and ranking using DSL. Okay. Now the question is, what is CRUD? You understand that, right? All of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Search and ranking we need to understand. So first you have to understand what is Elasticsearch. So as I said, Elasticsearch is not a normal database. Elasticsearch, you can say, is a kind of database. I'm just putting up use cases. Elasticsearch is a kind of database which can be used for site searching. Mind it. Site caching and site searching. For example, I'll put it in a very simple way. Do you know this website? Flipkart? All of you?
Yes. Yes.
It's very popular in India, right? Now I'm searching for mobile. So see that earlier, think simple. It was like this. Flipkart is like this. And now if I search, remember I'm doing this search, okay? This search. Then look at this. Search is API and query is mobile. See that. This is the query. Okay, and there are some more options automatically get added by default by the coding, and then results you have it. This is the results. Now
But
how this has
what is using DSL, sir? What is
I'll
DSL?
I'll I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. Okay, so this is called searching. How this has been empowered? This search API through Elasticsearch. I'll
Okay.
show you one more example. It's my blog. I'll share with you for lots of training materials. And here I'll search DevOps. Look at this. This is a very simple one, not complicated. So here S means that's a search and DevOps, query DevOps. So this website search engine also is been empowered by Elasticsearch. So what is Elasticsearch? So if you want to develop search engine, okay, mind it, Google is also search engine. Okay, so they have their own proprietary software, but if you want to implement search functionality in your website, then this tool is preferred, Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch has not only storage capability but search capability also, and ranking capability also. Ranking I'll talk about in few minutes. But did you understand the search? That means if any websites want to implement the search functionality for site searches, then they use Elasticsearch. Are you understanding,
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a search functionality. So use cases of Elasticsearch is a lot larger than what we are getting trained for. I'm teaching you for the infrastructure monitoring basically. ELK, when we say, then we focus on the infrastructure monitoring. But actually, these tools can use the various other ways also. Okay, so we should know that. Now, ranking. So, ranking means what? Let me show you here. Now, if I search for mobile, then who will decide this should come up? I just search mobile and this should go. Oh, what happened? Let me close. And this somewhere here, this should go to the bottom. Who will decide? Some factor should be there, no? Correct?
Correct.
Some algorithm should be there. Who will
Mhm.
decide? See, these all are documents, okay? This is one document. I'll click here. This is one document. This is the another document. So like that. So which factor which decide the this should display top and this should display down? Okay, which factor? So there is a one algorithm. Okay, let me show you. Elastic search. Don't search Elastic. Elastic is a company name. Elastic search ranking algorithm. Okay, and they use uh, just a second. Hmm. Okay, so earlier they were using this algorithm, but I think in the latest one it got changed to BM25. Okay, and determine the document score. Yeah, so this is the algorithm: inverse document frequency IDF. Okay, so in simple way we call it a BM25 algorithm. Okay, so you don't need to get into that too much because we are learning for the use cases, but just for the reference, this is the algorithm is being used for ranking. Okay, so now we understand Elasticsearch is not only a storage but also giving you the search and ranking capability, and that is the reason this tool, specifically Elasticsearch, is very popular for site searches. Clear, all of you?
Yes.
But for us, for us for this session, we will be limited to use Elasticsearch for the storing the logs and matrices, not more than that. Okay, so that is our use cases in ELK state. But programmers and all development, when they do, you can use this software for storing the data of the pages, which is this one and this one, caching the pages, which you call it a uh, say crawler. Yeah, so web search component, I'll put it up this one. I'm not using slides, you can use that, you can refer the slides of the previous session uh, from the LMS. I'll give you the access. Search component, search engine component. Okay, search engine component. So there is one component which is, see here, this is the best one. See here. So here, if you want to implement the search engine, then we need a crawler. Here, spider is your crawler. Indexer is your Elasticsearch. Okay, indexer is Elasticsearch. Spider, you can think of something like beats, you can say. And search query and algorithm. Algorithm, just now I talked about it. And search query. What is a search query? This is the component which I have not discussed. So these all components will come together and create one tool. So this all this thing you have in the Elasticsearch, except the spider. Indexer you have in Elasticsearch. Algorithm is built in, and query search. What is a query search? That is where I am talking about the DSL. So what is a DSL? So DSL, we call it DSL stand for domain specific language. There are many other definition also is there. Okay, domain specific language. That means this. Okay, I'll put it in this way. Do you know which query language we used for MySQL?
SQL.
SQL, structured query language, like that. So here, for querying the Elasticsearch, you need a DSL. Okay, and DSL is very vast. Okay, you have to spend a lot of time to practice it. Even sometimes I get lost after working so many times. So this is the one. It's the dedicated pages for that. Okay, Elasticsearch DSL. This is the 7.2 documentation I see, but here 8 is here. This is the query DSL. Okay, so domain specific language. Okay, query DSL. So this is the one which you have to practice a lot. That means in a simple way, I must say, anything you want to do, uh, anything means you want to search or something like anything means searching actually primarily. Okay, because ranking will be decided by this algorithm, which I say TDF, IDF actually, TF, IDF both, which is decided by, in short we can call it BM2. By the way, this algorithm you can change it, but right now not required, and that is DSL. So DSL means how to query. So after setting up all this stuff, no, you need to learn DSL. Without a DSL, for example, you set up a database and you have a data in the database. But without a query language, how can you access that? Okay, you cannot access it. So you have to use that. So in a MySQL, if I want to, if you want to understand this very simple thing, if you want to get some data, okay, what you do? If you want to get the data, then which query we use it?
SQL query.
No, but what query? Specific one.
Select.
Select, right? Yes. So same way here we have Elasticsearch. Okay, we have Elasticsearch, and this you will do through the search. Okay, you will do through the search. Now using DSL. Now one important thing which you need to understand. Very important. Very important. So when you do the DSL, then how do you do the DSL? That is a question. So here, uh, Elasticsearch supports API. That means any CRUD operations you will do, which here I said, or any search operations using the DSL you will do. Okay, you have to pass the request through API. So when I say API, that means for the CRUD, if you do, okay, API, you know that CRUD, if I do, and it's a HTTP based API. So when you do the CRUD, that means what? That means what? That means get, post, put, and delete. These are the HTTP verb we have to use it. Because Elasticsearch, how to connect? using API. And using API, when you want to do the CRUD, then what to do? Get, post, put, and delete. But when you use for searches, then you have to use the search API, which is like this. Are you understanding? This will be IP address of Elasticsearch. Are you understanding? This is the API. All of you?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the third component. Why I am detailing this one little bit more? Because you need to spend most of the time on the Elasticsearch only while working with the ELK. So okay, so here we are collecting the logs or matrices, and then we are parsing the logs here, storing in the Elasticsearch. After the storing, we will do the CRUD. You will do the searching, and rank will be decided by the algorithm which we discussed. Okay, and how do we connect to the Elasticsearch? We all connect to the Elasticsearch using API. And for API, we have a DSL. That means domain specific language to interact with this one. So many APIs are there. This is one of the vastest thing which you can do that. Search techniques, we can say. Okay, so this is the query DSL. Everything you have it here. Now, last component in this stake is Kibana. Okay, Kibana. So what is a Kibana? So Kibana is basically a dashboard. So dashboard. So what is happening here? Uh, See here. Uh, because we are using ELK for infrastructure monitoring and observability. Okay, so we are using ELK for that purpose. So we need to have some visualization tool for our team, operation team or SRE team, where I can see all the infra logs and in matrices or APM data and all. And we can create alerts. Okay, so first thing we want to discover the data. Okay, discover the data, something like Google. See here, if you go to the google.com, this is your the kind of dashboard. Just a second, am I still connected? Hello.
Yes.
Sorry.
So Kibana is our front end tool, right? Or component, let's say.
Yes, it's a front end tool. So this is your dashboard, google.com. Very simple dashboard. Okay, this is the one. Just like a Kibana is our dashboard. For what? Discovering the data. Whatever you have stored in the Elasticsearch, you can discover. You can search. Okay, you can query. Okay, all these things you can do that. But on top of that, you can have alerts also. Okay, you can have alerts based on the certain data. You can set up a dashboard also, dashboard to for operations team and all. You can have a authentication. You have authorization. Auth means who should access what, everything you can set it up here. So all these primary features you have on the Kibana. So now if I put it in a perspective, let me create one image actually. MS Paint. So here what happens, for the various sources, you will collect the data. This is the Linux box, this is the Windows box, this is a serverless computing. Okay, this is the network, something various sources, you will collect the data. Okay, so and here you will have beats. Here also have a beats. Now beats are of different types, which I said in the session also in the discussion. So different types of beats will collect the data and send all this data, primarily only log data. Okay, it depends on your things also. Let's say you're collecting logs here. Okay, file beat you are using. Uh, Here, let me show you one more time. See here, file bit you are using for the logs. Metric for the metrics, you don't need too much of transformation. Sometimes you want to create a percentile or percentage or something like that. You want to do that. So primarily you process the logs. but you can do this. So here we have a Logstash. Okay, so this component is a Logstash. So this arrow will be like this. That means beats will send the data to the Logstash. Now, if it is a matrix, okay, and you don't want to transform too much, directly you can send it to Elasticsearch also. This is the storage. So here you can send directly to the Elasticsearch also. That is also possible. But it's up to you. You design the what you want. You want to transform, you have to use the Logstash. And this is the Elasticsearch, ES. Okay. Now after transforming the data here, you have to write some filter. I'll teach you how to write a filter. From here, you send the data to the Elasticsearch. Make sense? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Now after this, you are a human being, right? This is the one. And I just said very clearly, use Elasticsearch support API. That means directly you can do query or searches or anything. Query means you can do the CRUD also, and search. CRUD means you know that, and search. How do you do the CRUD? I talked about it, which is here. Okay, so you can do the get, post, put, and delete too, because this is API, mind it. Elasticsearch support API. That means there is no other way to access the Elasticsearch, only through API, HTTP verb, which you have. So you can talk to Elasticsearch, but who is talking to Elasticsearch like that? Very few people. So most of the people are lazy. They don't want to talk to Elasticsearch using the queries and DSL and CRUD verb. So what they do, they use the there's one more tool which is called Kibana. This is the dashboard, Kibana. And so now Kibana people use it here, and then Kibana will look at the arrow. Kibana will query on behalf of you. See that arrow. So from the beats, it's sending the data to Logstash. Logstash sending the data to Elasticsearch. This is the storage which you have. And then either you can directly talk to API of Elasticsearch, or Kibana also talk to the same API of the Elasticsearch. There is no difference actually. All of you are understanding?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to practice the whole setup, then you have to install beats, collect the log, matrices, and dap, and then you have to send that log to the Logstash for transforming. That logs will be sent to Elasticsearch, and then Elasticsearch, from that you can write a queries. So CRUD and queries. CRUD means storing the data, that's a process, and query means searches.
Hello,
Yeah, yeah, tell me.
hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
I can hear you.
actually, I missed. Can you go back to the diagram? Can you just explain it one more time? I missed that part. Uh, I got a call.
Yeah. So here beats is a collector, the logs matrix from the various sources, Windows machine, Linux machine, network, website up and time, and lots of different types of data. And we'll collect the data and send to Logstash for parsing, for transforming, for filtering, and only the filtered data will go to the Elasticsearch, and this is the storage. After that, you this storage can be done through the CRUD. Okay, CRUD. Okay, CRUD means you can create a document, or reading you can do through this guy. Update also you can do, and delete also you can do that. So CRUD, and then after the search you can search directly through API, or Kibana also you can use it for the searching. So storage is Elasticsearch, Kibana is a dashboard, Logstash is a parser, or you can say stasher or transformer, and this is a collector. Very simple flow.
So
Make sense?
this is like a Logstash is like a heavy forwarder in case of Splunk.
So Splunk Logstash is a heavy forwarder, and Beats is a universal forwarder. You can consider in the Splunk,
Okay. Okay.
and Elasticsearch you can consider as a Splunk, and Kibana you can consider as a search head.
Okay. And the log gets pulled, or it's a push mechanism from the collector to
See,
Logstash?
look at the arrow. That's will give you the answer here. See here, but Kibana, look at the arrow here. Okay,
So it's a push. Mm,
pushed here.
okay.
Okay, so are you comfortable with the whole ELK theory? How this has been designed?
Yes.
Any questions?
Excuse me, engineer. Before go on, can you just let me the schedule? How many days this course scheduled, and what
Uh,
time? How many hours every session is?
yeah, so this has not been finalized. Patrick will tell you the timing and the dates and all. Everything Patrick will share with you after the session. Okay,
By the end of
depends
this
on,
session?
yeah,
Okay.
it depends on your what you want to learn. So Patrick will share with you all the data.
Perfect. And this course is designed for people who want to be certified in Elastic Certified Analyst, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Of course. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now there is any other questions, guys? Okay.
No.
Now, now, guys, this whatever I taught you is basically it was having up to the Elasticsearch 7. Yes, Elasticsearch 7. So then you will say, what is Elasticsearch 8? Sorry, my bad. Elastic 7. Now there is a difference between Elastic and Elasticsearch. So here, what you understand? What is Elastic? What do you understand?
It's the solution
No, Elastic is a
or the
company name.
system. Ah, okay.
Okay, Elastic is a company name. Okay, so this company's product, there's a lots of confusion. That's the reason I want to clear it out. So whatever I proposed here, this solution ELK solution was very popular for up to the Elastic 7. So now what we have Elastic 8. So when I say Elastic 8, that means the version of Logstash 8, Elasticsearch 8, Kibana 8. That is what I am talking about. So in the Elastic 8, what will happen? That is where Elastic has changed self a lot. So what changes they have done? So they were they were having very nice product and still they are using and still they are having. For this Elasticsearch can be used, as I said, in a many ways, like a site searches, infrastructure monitoring and storage logs, matrices, and all. But this time, from the Elastic 8 version, they are focusing on observability. Observability. Now the question is, what is observability? Anyone? What is observability?
Monitoring.
Anyone
Taking the
else?
log.
Uh, yeah. So observability means understand that if you go to your system, organization, for operations team or SRE team, then they will ask you to collect the certain data, certain types of data. What are the types of data? So when you hear this keyword observability, then you simply say, earlier we were doing monitoring. Okay. Earlier what we were doing? We were doing monitoring. Now we are doing observability. And people will ask you, what is the difference between monitoring and observability? So you say here, in monitoring, we used to gather the matrices and then we used to act after the alerts. That means, let's say you gather the matrix, CPU, RAM, and blah blah blah, or certain logs. Now you will have alerts and then you will take action. Correct? No?
Yes.
Hello? But in observability, we are collecting and gathering all sort of data. So earlier in monitoring, we were only collecting the matrices. Now in observability, all sort of data. What data? So let me show you. So we used to collect all the matrices from the infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure, when you say Windows, Linux, Apache, Tomcat, MySQL, all these things, plus logs from the system and applications, and plus from traces. Okay, traces. So these all types of data, I'll put it in matrix means CPU, RAM, logs means logs, you understand, application and system, and traces means anyone? Anyone?
Tracer, tra- sorry, somebody's saying. Go ahead, please.
Traces means?
Tracers means you put a filter and search for monitor for some particular type of
See,
connections.
traces means uh,
Tracking your
things
request
simple.
where it is going.
No, no, no. Trace means, in simple way, you can say latency. Very important, you should know. So I'll put it in a very simple visualization. This is you. This is you. And this is your laptop. And then you search something, www.xyz.com, or browse something, not search something, browse something. Then it travel to the DNS server, from the DNS server to the different country, different ISPs, to load balancer to web servers, then web server to the again some load balancer app server service, and then database service, like that. So what is a trace? So this is a trace. 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 That means how much time it took? 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. So what was the total latency? 4 seconds. This is trace. That means I want to know the performance of applications. So see, here I want to know all the matrices of the infrastructure. Here I got to know the logs, and here performance. How is performing my applications? So traces. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes. Yeah.
See here. Some simple image will give you. See here. If you want to set up observability, traces, matrices, logs coming together, collect it and store it where? So store it, all this thing, in the Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch. And then through Kibana will be oppositor, okay? Kibana, you can experience that. So now you'll say, Rajesh, what is the big deal in it? So big deal is that, here, if you remember that in this new version of Kibana, I mean Elastic component, we had a beats and we have a Logstash. Now because, okay, because we are not doing the earlier model of monitoring, we are doing the new model of monitoring. Then what has happened? They replace this beats and Kibana with something like agent. Yes, now we have agent. They have a written agent which you need to install, which will help you to infra logs and traces and so on. This concept is coming from, like, if you know Datadog, Neuralink, or let's say any other tools also, agent concept is there, so they have agent. So if you see that here, uh, agent, elastic agent actually we call it, okay, elastic agent. So don't get confused with the technology. This is the one. So this is the elastic agent now. So instead of beats now, what we call it, elastic agent, and it has a multiple capabilities which can help you to collect the different types of data and so on. See here, unifying your logs, matrices, and traces at a scale in a single stake, and this agent will help you with that. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
So here you see that, read this very simple way. This agent can collect, means can collect, but what type of data? All form of data. Earlier beat, if you remember, what there were a beat, different types of beat, correct now? I hope you remember.
Yes.
So now here only one single agent can collect all the different type of data from everywhere, from anywhere, with a single unified agent per host. That means you have to install this agent in each host. One thing to install, configure, and scale. So earlier I introduced you. There were so many different types of beats were there, but now only this guy will help you for everything. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So now the confusion is which one to talk, because both training is different. Okay. Both training is different. This ELK training is different. This new version of Elastic is different. Okay. So what I'm trying to give you the sense of from both. Okay, sense from both. That means how can you set up ELK and how can you work with latest version of Elasticsearch also with this agent. So I will help you with the beats also. I will help you with agent also. Okay, any confusion so far?
Nope.
Okay, so now let's get started. So now more or less the discussion is over. Now demo time. So before me starting the demo, if you have any questions, doubts, you can ask me. Okay, so now what I am going to do, step number one, okay, step number two, step number three, step number four, step number five. We'll set up the whole infrastructure and I'll teach you. Okay. Now guys, whole infrastructure can be set up in a many ways. Docker container is easiest way to set up infrastructure. But I'm not sure if all of you are comfortable working with the Docker. So I'll teach you manually so you can have a little confidence. So first one, step number one, set up Elasticsearch. Yes. After that, set up Logstash. After that, set up Beats. After that, set up Kibana. Now, after that, if all are there, then last one also will try set up agent. Okay, so these all things will do, and after that, human will work displays most of the time. That means what you will do. So human will work with the Kibana, and you will do what? You will do. See here. Got it? Are you clear?
Yes, only search, or will we cover dashboard as well?
This is a older method. This is the older method. But when you say when you work on the Kibana, then search is important. See here. What are the features of Kibana? See here. Discover, search, and query. Then after that, we can create alerts also, dashboard also, and some more features of Kibana will learn.
Okay, and in this course we will cover all of these topics, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So we will teach you. After searching is the see creating alerts is just a 5 minutes of work. Dashboarding maybe 15 minutes of work. That's not a problem. But this is most important, and that's where your 90% of the time will be spent while learning. Because I just told you right, there is a DSL, and that is you need to learn actually, and not only DSL. This is the one thing you have to learn, and there is a one thing which you need to learn: KQL. KQL. Any guess what is the KQL stand for?
Kibana query language.
Yes, and DSL. Both language you have to learn. So I'll give you the sense of both language, and again you have to practice it. Again, it's a whole query language.
What about machine learning?
Machine learnings is not a part of this course, but if you want to get it added, talk to Patrick. Okay, he'll help you with that.
Yes, and if you can open the topics that covered in the exam,
Which exam can you just name it?
Elastic
Elastic
Certified Analyst.
Certified Anna.
Analyst.
Just a second.
Because I'm enrolled in this course in order to prepare very well for this exam. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
If you
Let me
click,
just
yes, in the topics,
so see
searching
here.
data, visualizing
Huh,
data, I need to
huh.
cover all these topics.
Yeah.
This is
So
my,
search.
yeah,
Yeah. Same thing which I said. Searching data means KQL and
yes,
DSL.
yes,
Visualizing the data means this is the one which I was talking about. Discovering, searching, and queries. And for that, you have a dashboard which is there anyways. And analyzing the data. See here, analyzing the data, you have to learn all this thing again. Okay.
yes. In
And
analyzing data, there is machine learning part, create runtime fields, define single metric, multi-metric, population or categorization, anomaly detection job,
just a second, hold on. Where
outliers
it's
in the analyzing data.
okay, just a second, hold on. See, here it's not a machine learning which you are thinking. Here, basically, some agents are there. Okay, this agent which I'll teach you, which is they call it a machine learning tools. Okay, now these agents can be used to detect anomalies in a data sets. That means anomalies means something like that. I'll put in one example. Let's say you have a 50 virtual machine EC2 instance, and in that EC2 instance, one machine is behaving little different. Little different means, let's say 50 machines out of one machine is consuming loads of CPU, lots of RAM, though you have a load balancer involved. So how to detect that? This one. So this we will take it not in this session, but separate session one to one with you. Okay.
Perfect, because I took before this exam 2 times and I didn't pass.
No problem. You will pass this
So,
time.
and the exam cover all these topics.
Yeah.
So
So
it's very important for me.
so your focus is, if your focus is only this topic, then it's a very small topic, that because I'm trying to cover more than this. Okay, and
Perfect.
here,
So
as I
we will
said, no,
cover all of these topics and
yes,
more than
yeah.
these the ones
Yeah.
listed here.
See here, basically your expectation is only to explore the Kibana much actually. This all topics is more or less satisfying to Kibana, and that's what I said. It's a new version of Elasticsearch, Elastic 8, which they are focusing on observability. Okay, so that is where you see that all the data which is related to observability. See your dashboard you have. Here you have a query, and here you have analyzing the data. Okay, so here more or less is observability, but this course, the one which I am having right now, is for more than this. You can say it's not for analyst, but it's for admin plus developer plus analyst. Analyst is the last role. I'll put it in this way. So here first admin, okay, and then analyst will come. So admin will set up the whole infrastructure, manage the whole infrastructure, and after that analyst will come and only access the data. But I'm covering this admin first, and then after that this all these things. Okay.
Okay, and what version of Kibana are we going to use?
8.
Is there a big difference between version 8 and version 7.15?
Huge difference. That's what
Because
I
the
was talking
exam
about.
uses version 7.15.
Mm, let me check that if they have.
I checked this in FAQ.
Just a second, hold on. Okay, so we'll take it up this discussion offline. I think there's no time. This
Okay,
this can be yeah. So unnecessarily we are putting these questions right now because session is getting interrupted. We can discuss of this offline also. Otherwise, if you
okay,
start this FAQs now, then our time will be lost, and other participants also might not have this alignment. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so guys, let's do that. So I'm going asking for the voting. Which one you want to learn? 7, which is focused on uh, uh, the old ELK stake model, or 8, which is focused on observability model, which is the new one. So, by the way, I think your name, Sarah, in terms of DSL queries and in terms of KQL queries, both are same. The only thing is additional thing which you got it with Elasticsearch 8 agents you will not have in the 7. You will have a beats, different types of beats. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So guys, which one you're voting? 7 or 8? Both are production ready, by the way. 8 has recently introduced. 7 is there for last, I think, 2 years or something.
We'll go with 7.
I would go
Which
with
one?
8 because of observability part.
Yeah.
This is something as an Asari we should be focusing more towards. So 8 should
Hmm.
be more beneficial than 7.
But
Okay.
what companies are using? What companies
Which
are
one?
searching for it, or companies are still
See,
using 7?
companies are still using 7. That's true. And 8 is coming because of only SRE and Ops. That means Elastic want to compete with Datadog, New Relic, App Dynamics, Dynatrace, like tools like that. So they are migrating and transforming themselves. Actually. Okay, so we'll do one thing. In this sessions, let's stick with 8 only. Now I'll keep talking. There's no difference also. The difference whenever you see, there's no difference. For me, there's no difference. But because you guys want the step by step detail, so that way that's the where we'll have a little bit of challenges that will figure it out. So in this session, let's conclude this whole setup up to the step number 4, because this is something 8 which I will not do today. Okay, so we'll set up this one and then focus on the primary topics and then we'll move on one by one. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's get started.
And do
So guys,
you,
I have,
you think- I mean,
huh?
we are doing this, right? What is the source that we are going to monitor? Is it a database? Is it an application? Or what are we going to monitor?
Okay, so here in this session, we are going to monitor the logs, because remember that ELK was designed for the logs monitoring. But if we transform to 8, then we'll focus on everything. By the way, in ELK earlier version also, which was beats, you can gather the metrics. So here if I say beats will, I will try to monitor one file, then we will try to monitor one Linux box, and that is so for file, which beat we need? File beat, correct? And
Correct.
for Linux, we need matrix beat. Okay, matrix beat. Matrix, matrix beat. There's spelling mistake, I think. And then Windows machine will log beat. We'll see that if we have a bandwidth, we'll install this. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do. So guys, look at my screen here. This is my Linux box, and root Rajesh 123. Now what is this IP address? This is the Linux box. The IP address is 2. One 192.168.1.2 root Rajesh 123. So this is the CentOS box where I'll be showing you the demo. Let me improve the view. All this setup which I'm showing you manually, it can be done through what to say,
Docker compose.
uh, Docker only, Docker itself. But because I'm showing you, so tomorrow if you have some troubleshooting experience, you can do that. So guys, this is the tarball which I downloaded last month, I guess. Okay, for the last sessions. So yeah. Now, one thing I want to tell you, and this you need to remember, that Elasticsearch cannot run with root user. Please remember that. Okay. So I have logged in as a root, so you cannot run it, Elasticsearch. So that means what? So you have to run Elasticsearch as a normal user. Okay. So Su Rajesh, Su Elastic. Let me check that which user I'm having in here. Elastic. So there's one user I created, Elastic. Now this username can be anything. Mind it, this username can be anything. Now this package which you see, I downloaded zip file. It's a tarball, right? It's a tarball. Download Elasticsearch. Just you enter, and here you will get it. Now which version you want, you decide. Uh, Here we have Windows, Mac, Linux, Debian and all. Now the question is, why this all support? Because I told you Elasticsearch has been developed using which language? Which language?
Java.
Java. So Java is a platform dependent. So basically you can install Elasticsearch anywhere. But most of us like SRE and Ops required you to install in Linux. So we'll go for Linux 64-bit, which is here. Okay. So I downloaded this and already I am having this tarball. Now after that, I am going to extract it. How can you extract it? I don't think so. You need to know jetxbf. You must be knowing this command. Okay, and then after that I extract it, and this is the one which you have. So let's do one thing. Let's delete that. Let's have a extraction, because I don't know what changes I might have done in the last sessions. So I want to show you the fresh one. Jetxdevo and done. Now again I'm repeating, you don't have to do setup manually. One Docker command can set up Elasticsearch very well. Now, one thing I want to tell you, which you need to remember again, one thing I said, which is like Elasticsearch, you cannot run with a root user. Second thing is, you will think Elasticsearch 7 versus Elasticsearch 8. Okay. So now, in terms of code changes, I'm not going to talk about. You don't want to know that one again. What is the difference between Elasticsearch 7 and Elasticsearch 8? So the difference is, very important difference which will impact you, is security is enabled in Elasticsearch 8 by default. That's all. For me and for you, which you want to know, whenever you start Elasticsearch 7, you don't need any kind of security to be set up, like certificate, token, username, and password. You can directly start using it. But when you after the learning, once you set up for the production use, then you can enable that security in 7. But in 8, it is enabled by default actually. Understood, all of you?
Yeah, I have a quick question. I mean, like when you say this can
Yeah.
be done using Docker, you meant to say that it can be pulled from hub.docker.com. Is that right?
Yeah, Docker run Elasticsearch. That's all. Something like that command is there, uh, which is here. Docker run. This is the pull, and create. This is the command. So it will run Elasticsearch within a second. Okay, but I'm showing you manually because you want to become a troubleshooter also sometime in the future. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have
So the
Elasticsearch.
first thing, excuse me, I have a question.
Yeah,
So the first thing now, we created the virtual machine, and our operating system is Linux. After
yes,
that, we downloaded Elasticsearch from Docker website.
that's not Docker website. This website here I'm
From
showing you.
Elastic. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So here you can download as per your platform. Right now,
Uh-huh.
recommendation, this training will happen in Linux. Okay,
Install it and run it.
that's all.
Okay, what's
Installing,
the
say,
server specifications? Is there any
uh,
special specifications for servers?
yes. So primarily you can go for 6 to 8 GB RAM to learning purpose. See, for learning purpose I'm telling you, not for production
Mm-hmm.
uses. So 6
Yes.
to 8 GB RAM and 2 CPU is sufficient. Now, how much RAM you have in this? Let me show you. So basically I go for the same configuration. Here you have uh, one CPU, and here uh, memories I'm having. Where is this memory? Actually, we can see uh, processors is here. 6 GB RAM, 6.5 GB RAM. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the
So this
storage?
machine storage 30 GB. I mean 20 GB is also okay in Linux. Depends on your preference. See, right now your focus is to learn. So not too much of specification you need, but if you run for the production, then you have to look for many other factors, and that's called capacity planning. I'll just give you some hints actually. Capacity planning decide your storage size, how much storage you have a requirement for a month or year, and then versus how many searches happen. Okay, searches happen because searches will create a load, right? Searches, how many transformation you are doing. So all this thing will take into the consideration, and then you'll decide storage plus RAM and CPU. But for learning purpose, any simple VMs that should be okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Now
you.
this VM, This VM you can get on AWS, Azure, or I am using in my own laptop. So using VirtualBox here, Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, so now let's get into this one. And here, these all files you have to understand, folders you have to understand. Plugins means if you want to extend Elasticsearch capability, then in future you may install plugins. Here it will come. Modules means all these features which you can expose with Elasticsearch, which is in the module. Logs, all the jar file of Elasticsearch, basically code, you can find in the lib. As I said, Elasticsearch is developed in Java. So this is a built-in JDK they have given. Earlier we used to install JDK separately, but now they have given it. And here start stop script. Here there is one file which is very important, and that is you need to remember config file, and that is this file, Elasticsearch. Though other files are also important, but for this session, you don't need to remember any other stuff but elasticsearch.yaml. Okay, so that is the important file. That means if you want to change any configurations of Elasticsearch, that is the file you should hit. By default, Elasticsearch run on local host. Okay, so we will check that. So let's go to the bin directory. Okay, and after that there's so many utilities are there, don't get lost, just focus on this one. Now you need some tutorials also, in fact I need, so I'll just go to this place, and here Elasticsearch, and here this is the 8. You have this one also. I'm just checking out so many tutorials I am having written different times. So see that which one is this. So this one is basically a manual way. Yes, I need this. This one, it is little old, though it I needed this one, but not that badly. And this one uh, is also good, yeah. So but this one, if you see that it's used the Docker, so I don't need this because that demo I'm not showing you. So this is using Docker, so those who are interested with the Docker, you can follow this one. So I think I need more or less this one. Okay, so let's get started. So uh, I need Elasticsearch. Huh. So download is done, here is done, and now I need to run Elasticsearch. So where is the command for that? I'm looking for the command. So command is nothing great actually, you just run this one and Elasticsearch, but I need to run in the background. Okay, or let's not run in the background, it's okay, leave it. So I will keep opening up in the duplicate session, so you can run in the background. For that there'll be some tutorial which I can tell you um, here. So this is the tutorial which will help you to run in the background. So here you have a commands which I want to show you first here. This command will run in the background. Okay, but right now because I want to see the error also, so I'm running like this, end. Okay, now when you run Elasticsearch, please note down, because I told you very specifically the 7 versus 8. In 8, security is enabled by default. So they'll set up everything and they'll make it available. So token, certificate and all. So you have to note it down to avoid the information missing or recreation. Because you are learning, you don't want to get lost in how to generate a token again or this or that. So you don't want to get lost in that, others your learning flow will be spoiled. So now let it come. So you don't want to see this log and all, then you can run this command which I am showing you in the record. You will be having recordings, you can refer it offline. But right now I want to see the logs just to make sure that if there's no error actually. So seems to be okay. See here, and health is yellow. Yellow health is okay. So green is much okay. Yellow is okay. Red is not okay. So what is yellow means? Yellow means the Elasticsearch is running fine, no problem, but number of nodes is less. That means when you set up Elasticsearch, what happens? You set up with a cluster way, means multiple nodes is there. But right now I just want to learn the Elasticsearch. One node is okay, so yellow is okay. Now here you should read this. Elasticsearch security feature have been automatically. This was not there in 7. That's the reason. So if you see that my old documents, this is my old documents. This is the 7. Actually, if you look at the 7 1.5. So here there was no as such output. You see here, output when you start this, you will not get anything as such. But here it's there. So these two are default enabled. Earlier it was not enabled. Make sense, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. But you know what? After, even though in 7, when you use for the productions, you have to enable it. So that's okay for us. Now here this I want you to record that information. Password for Elastic user. Mind it here, this username is Elastic. Don't get confused system user with the Elastic user. This Elastic user is for the Elasticsearch, which I have not created. Elasticsearch had created that. Okay, but I created Linux user also because just to match that. That's how any user can start the Elasticsearch. So I will note it down, the password. Now we'll say, Rajesh, I want to reset the password. So I think you can read this. Nothing great about it. There is in the bin directory, there's so many utilities are there, out of which one is through resetting the password. So this you have to record it. I will record this information here. Now this is your CA certificate fingerprints. You have to record this one also. So when you use the certificate based authentications, you have to give it. Now this is a most important one. So uh, I hope you remember this image, right? All of you.
Yes.
So Kibana need to connect with Elasticsearch. So because Elasticsearch now enabled with a certificate based, which is production ready. So that means you have to run this command. Read it very carefully. Don't rush. Configure Kibana to use this cluster. This is the Elasticsearch cluster. Run Kibana. Click on the configuration link. That means I'll show you when to run the Kibana in 5 minutes. And click on the configuration link in the terminal when Kibana start, and copy these things for the Kibana. This is basically enrollment token. That means if you do not give it, Kibana will not be able to talk to Elasticsearch. Okay, so copy the following enrollment token and paste into the Kibana for valid data. This is valid only for 30 minutes. That means if you cross the 30 minutes, then you have to again create a new token. Now we'll say, how can you create a new token? So if you see that, here, go to the Elasticsearch bin. Here you have a token generation also. See here. Okay, so service token you can generate multiple actually. So this is for 30 minutes. Now after this, configure the other node. So this clustering I'll talk about in another session, admin sessions. Right now I don't want to confuse you the too many things. But when you create a clustering of Elasticsearch, okay, uh, this you can follow this token and blah blah blah. Okay, so now let me copy paste this one for myself because I need it. And and go for here. I copy in this chat. That's all. So any questions on the starting points, all of you, Elasticsearch? Now the question is, how do we access it? That's the question. So I go to another console, I open up another console, and you will access using the, remember that I said, you can access only through what? Only through API, HTTP based API. So how do I access? For that, just a second. So for that, see what is the difference between 7 and 8? I'll tell you. Many places you'll feel the difference. So for that, this code it will work in the 7. Localhost Elasticsearch is running on 922. 922 is a API address for Elasticsearch. Always remember. So this will run in 7. And now because I have a 8, see empty reply from server. So what to do? You have to give the certificates also and username also. Okay, so how do you give it? I'm just verifying this is the right address or not. So home elastic and 1.482 correct, and after that config certificate. Yeah, so this certificate you need it because it's HTTPS, and then username elastic. So let's do that. And what is the password? Now you store this password which is here and enter. Now what is the status? This is your Elasticsearch status. That means this is accessible, running, healthy, no problem. So now the question was how to make the Elasticsearch up and running, and that answer I have given you. Are you comfortable, all of you? All of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now what we will do, now we'll set up the Kibana. Okay, so let's use this machine for the Kibana.
Does Kibana and Elasticsearch have to be in different boxes or?
It can be in the same boxes because it's IP address, no? They all can be in a different boxes. It can be in same boxes. Up to you. If it's all in same boxes, then you will use localhost. If it is in different boxes, then you will use the IP address. Correct, no?
Yeah.
So like that. So I'll show you that demo. Just give me 2 seconds. So this is a one new box I have got it for thing. Now you know what? Kibana you can start as a root, that's not a problem, but it's not advisable. It's up to you, your approach, you decide. So IP address for my Kibana server is 8, 192.168.1.8 and root and Rajesh 123. So I'll just improve this view so you can see better. This I'll keep it black only. Okay. So yeah. So now this Kibana I have downloaded it already. Okay. That this is again if you see that is the latest version. So this Kibana is older one. So I'll rename it. That's a to avoid the confusion. Now what I'll do tar -z xvf. Mind it, Kibana also you can start using Docker, saving time. But I'm teaching you manual way so you can get expertise in troubleshooting when it times comes easier way. If you want to start it, this one command will start and save lots of time. But because you are learning, you need to be manual. Now, one thing you have to do, this Kibana, when you start, it will only accessible on this IP address means local host only. So what to do? It should be accessible from outside also. So I go and modify this kibana.yaml. So kibana.yaml is a file which you modify for any changes in the Kibana. So here, go to the cd config, and now here you have to modify many things. So this is the file bi kibana.yaml. If you are running all this in one machine, you don't need to run it. But what about if you are running in a different machines? What are the things you have got to change it? So here Kibana port number. One more thing, spend 30 minutes on this file. Read, go through each and everything. So here port, I don't want to change it. Server, see if it is a local host, then you will not be able to access from outside. But you have to change it. So all this information, I put it up here. So what is IP address? So my IP address is 192.168.1.8. That means now I can access on this port number also. That is done. Second thing, you have to change the Elasticsearch host. That is a default. So go a little slowly. Read this. Don't rush faster. Here you have Elasticsearch. If you look at this, they are listening by default on the local host, which is not running in this case. So I have, this is the one, and here IP address of Elasticsearch is 2. So 192.168.1.2, and this is the second entry. I change it. Now this is a service token, you have to update it. Okay, so service token, whatever you got it, that is needed. So where to update it? So there is one variable which is called elasticsearch.service token. So here it is. Okay, so now it's a default, so you can change this. And here, and here this is the token for the Elasticsearch. Wait. This is a enrollment token. I need a service token. So let me get a confirmation. Uh, hmm. So this service token, I need to paste it, and this IP address. This is the done, and service token can be generated. Yeah. So this can be generated using this command. So let me generate one more time, because this is the enrollment token. Here they are asking service token. So look at this, how to generate service token. So you have to go to the Elasticsearch, run this utility, create, and here you have to tell username for Kibana and my token. So let me generate this token. So I go to the Elasticsearch and go to the Elasticsearch and go to the bin and run this command and enter. Now this is the service token which I was talking about. So now I'll come to this one and paste it. That's all. Save it and exit. Let me validate if all changes are done. That is done. So now after this, okay, register enrolling Kibana 8x with Elasticsearch. So how do you register? So this one I am registering with Kibana. So just a second, hold on. Enrollment token. This I have it, and this, see, this I am having it. Don't have to do that, because this enrollment token you have for 30 minutes. So I think it will be valid so far. If it's not valid, I can recreate. So go to this one and run this command. Okay, run this command, and here enrollment token, just give it this one and done. It's a one command actually, one line of command actually, remember. So go to the Kibana setup, which is here. So cd ben, and this is the file. Okay, so Kibana setup. So this is a one-time activity, you have to do that. And let me copy paste. So this you have to do that. Now let me quickly get it done. So here you see Kibana configured successfully. Now what you do, you start the Kibana, that's all. So after this, done this one. Now you'll say, Rajesh, do I need to do all this thing in the Kibana 7 also? By default, no. But if you enable the authentication, yes. It's up to you. And Kibana. Start the Kibana. I see here. Kibana should not run as a root. And if you want to continue, then you do this. See, as I said, Elasticsearch you cannot run as a root. But Kibana you can run as a root. But they are giving you suggestion, do not run it. But if you want to run it, add this utility, this parameter, enter. And now we got the Kibana up and running in a few minutes. So did you understand that how to set up Kibana and how to configure Kibana with Elasticsearch? All of you?
Yes. So this notification which you got was because you were running the root user and trying to
Yeah.
run Kibana using the root user.
Yes, yes. You should not, but I just ran it because I don't want to create a new user.
Okay.
Okay. So I
I
created.
have
Now
one
mind
question.
it.
I
Yeah.
have one question that in Kibana we have
Mhm.
given Elasticsearch token, right?
Right. So
If
they will
token
ask
is
you.
valid,
So
if
token
token is
is.
valid for 30 minutes, then how
Mhm.
can it communicate? For every 30 minutes, we need to change token.
No, 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 no. Token is valid for lifetime as long as you give it the TTL lifetime by default. When I say
Okay.
token is valid for 30 minutes, that means you can use for registration. After that, see, token is temporary thing. What happens? You use the enrollment token, they will register with a certificate. So token is for getting the certificate on all other data.
Hmm.
Okay, it's only for enrollment purpose. That means if you want to enroll these new machines, including
Hmm.
Kibana, this token is valid for 30 minutes. After that, you have to generate a new token. Okay, so now
Okay.
I am going to access my machine, which is 8, and port number is 5601, which is here. This is your Kibana. Now, default username, I think admin only. I forgot, to be honest. So Elastic. Okay, no, Elastic. So older one, you need to check that. I don't remember the 7, but 8 one you have Elastic, and the password will be this one. Okay. So now that means you can access the Kibana using this username by default and this password. By the way, you can create a more users later on as part of authentication and authorizations. So now let me log in, and this is the Kibana which you have got it. Okay. Now welcome to Elastic, and now because it's a 8 version, they'll start asking for integration. That means install the agent which I said to you, install the agent and configure the lots of things like uh, metrics monitoring, log monitoring, traces, and stuff like that. Okay, are you able to understand that, all of you?
Yes.
And click add integrations, and here they will suggest you all these integrations are available. That means integration means what? Simple way, understand that. Integration means from where you want to collect the data. Simple. So here there is a crawler is there. So why crawler is been used? Any idea?
Sorry, what was the question?
There's
Search
a
engine
work.
component.
For
Ah,
Search
extracting the
engine.
data, right?
if you want to crawl any website, crawl means index your website, some website, then you can use add search to your website. Remember that I said very specifically, Elastic you are using for the website searches also. Okay, so add search to your website with this enterprise search web crawler. We are this is out of scope of our training. We are primarily focusing on SRE part of, because this tool can be used in many ways. AI also you can use, machine learning you can use robotics, you can use infrastructure monitoring, you can use SRE, you can use developers can use for the site searches also. Many use cases are there. And here Elastic APM means what? APM means
Application performance monitoring.
yes. So here I said no, Elasticsearch will help you for the metrics monitoring, logs monitoring, and traces. So this traces means application performance management. Okay, this is the one. So what is APM? If you want to understand, on my channel you have a videos only APM. If you want to understand what is observability in little bit detail, you just check my channel. Or if you want to understand what is APM, check my channel. So for that detailed way I have explained. This is in endpoint and cloud security. This is for the security, securing the AWS, Azure, and something like that. This is also out of scope. These all are integration. You should remember that. Though we will not try, but if sometime in future you will get a use cases, we have to monitor this, that, and all using Elastic. You can do that. So you see that hell lot of more than 304 integrations are available. That means in a simple way, I'll tell you. As of now, Elasticsearch will help you to capture the data. Data means observability data, which includes everything from the for more than 304 sources. It's an inbuilt given by Elasticsearch. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So for example, you will say, Rajesh, I want to monitor the Docker. No problem. You have a see a Docker metrics. But how can you Docker metrics? So here you have I have very specifically said there is a specific agent. Where is that? Here. Agent is available in 8, but 7. How can you do that? So you have to use the beats
Install
for
B.
that. Beats,
Yes.
yes, yes. Understand the difference. Okay, I'll install the beats in some time. Just give me some time. So just get comfortable with the UI. Don't rush. You see, one more thing, my experience. I'm using Elasticsearch from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and always I find every new release has a lots of confusion and too many features are there. Okay, if you are an administrator you can use this, if you are a developer you can use this, if you are a QA guys you can use this, you are a monitoring guy you can use this, you are a CEO and CTO also you can use this. So every sort of functionality you have it, don't rush and don't try to learn everything, focus on your objective. SRE, operations, analytics and all, this is your objective. Okay, so these are the monitoring. Now see here, यहाँ पर this place if an integration is available for Elastic Agent and Beats shows here recommended. If you want to see this option 304 options is available for both Elastic Agent and Beats, but if you want to only for seeing the Elastic Agent, then I think 273. If you want to only see for the Beats, then 149. So now you know that Beats also an Elastic Agent also is just executable which will collect the data. Okay, the Elastic Agent has made our work very easy, because Elastic Agent has ability to capture all sort of data, only one executable. All sort of data means observability data. But Beats, you have a different utilities for different collections. Okay, so are you comfortable with this one? Browse integrations, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, now what we will do? So now I will just go and show you how can you explore. So here, see here, enterprise search, are you using? No, this is out of our scope. Are you using for the security? Out of our scope. Are you using for observability? Yes, we are for this session we are doing for SRE, this one, observability. And are you doing for analytics? Without analytics means what? Simple way I'm putting up, exploring the data. Okay, so they are calling analytics. I call it this one. So for analytics, you need to learn what? Any idea what you need to learn analytics?
Query language?
Yes, KQL and DSL. So this you have to learn actually. Okay, so this is one. Some sample data you can also in upload. You can install, upload a file. You can do that. Now permission authentication authorizations we'll talk about. Just get comfortable with the UI and so on. Now most of the time your time will be spent this place. Okay, right now there is no data, so that's the reason this is popping up again and again, but most of the time will be spent. And here you have a dashboard, you can create a dashboard, I'll show you that. Okay, here you have Elasticsearch, and these are the things which I'll show you again. Now where you will run the DSL. So see, if you're SRE guys, this is the most important for you. Alerts, cases, logs, infrastructure, APM, uptime, and user experience. So these are the important for you. If you are in the security guys, these are the important for you. Okay. And if you are a administrator, these are the important for you. So properly they are planned this whole things and so on. So security, administrator, SREs, operations, and enterprise search developer. This is for the development, and this is analytics, and so on. Okay, so I think we have one participant who's focusing on this part of it. Correct now, all of you? I think Shara, right?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are
I
focusing
couldn't
on
hear
a
you.
yeah. I said you are focusing on this part, analytics part.
Yes.
Yeah, this is your module. Okay, so once we have a common session done, then focus on their own or your module. Make sense?
Okay.
And SRE guys, you guys are focusing on this one. Okay, this one. Okay, apart from that, rest of the things is not added in this session. So now what to do? So now what we did basically we set up Kibana and Elasticsearch. Are you comfortable so far? Can we set up the beats and what is this called? Logstash also? All of you?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, let's get started. So first thing, before setting up the log beats and Logstash, I will teach you how can you work with Elasticsearch. Okay. So Elasticsearch, how can you work with it? So Elasticsearch primarily will do the CRUD. How do we do the CRUD? Using the get, post, put, and delete. So do we have a code? So now I want you to give you some reference which you can practice it the CRUD. And how do you get that reference? Before me show you the reference, then I'll show you the demo. Elasticsearch. Now guys, whenever you see lab, see lab 5, lab 4, lab 3, lab 2, lab 1. These all are step-by-step reference for you to explore the DSL and CRUD. Okay, and this DSL and CRUD you can blindly copy in the 7 for the 7 version. For 8 you have to add a security again. Let me show you here. This is the CRUD, and this for 7, mind it, this all document is for the 7 only. Okay, in the 8 you have to add every time this command, and the command is this one. This is a 7, this is a 8. Will you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, so please remember that. So this is a 7 because authentication was not enabled by default. So now these are the APIs which you have. Okay, how do you get to know APIs? So there's a cat command. So let me use this curl and copy this. Always copy this because without that we'll not be able to work with it, because so much, if you do small mistake it will have a problem. So is a password. You can automate it also, but right now I'm not automating it because I want you to focus on the learning part. So see here, these are the APIs available. Now if you want to become a master in this, see all these ML APIs here, all these admin APIs are here, all these analytics APIs are here like this. Okay, so this is the API. Okay, so you just follow this document, and this is the one, this is another, and stuff like that. This is the more options. All these commands I put it up in this, so you can do that. Get, post, put, head, and delete, and these are the response code which you can get it from the API, and stuff like that. Okay, so this is the stuff. Now you need to know one thing, and that is in the Elasticsearch here. No, this one. Elasticsearch, you have what? So I'll ask you one simple question. MySQL, what you have? Where do you store the data? Where do you store the data?
Database.
Database. But guys, you know what? In Elasticsearch, we don't have a database, but we call it index. So hope you remember that. So what we call it? Index. Let me correlate so you'll remember that all this time. So let's say MySQL or any RDBMS, you have a database. But here we call it index. Now, what is an index? So index, you can say here you have a column, correct now? Hello? The column. Here you have type.
Okay.
And here you have a rows which is the data, contains data, and here you have document. That means, simple way, I just said initial when I was discussing with you, this is a one document, this is a one document, or I'll put it a more simple way. Let me put it up. This is the log line 1. This is one document. Okay, there's a timestamp. In the format I'm just trying to, this is one document, this is another document. So each line of the log is one document. Each line, each website is one document. Are you understanding the concept, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So here, in simple way, in the Elasticsearch, everything you store in the index, and here you can have a multiple column in the database, but you know what, in the Elasticsearch, you have only one type you can have it. One type means only one type of documents you can have it. That was implemented in 6.7.x onwards. Earlier, actually, Elasticsearch 6.x and 5.x, we had a multiple types of documents, but now it's not allowed. Okay, and type and then document. Document means any content, any pages is called considered as a one document. One line of log is considered as a one document. Okay, so now with that in case, I need to do what? So first thing you need to do, you know what? You need to create index. Very simple way I'm putting up, create index. How to do that? I'll show you. After that, create a document. After that, read the document. After that, update the document, edit a document, and after that, delete a document. Very simple CRUD operations which I'm trying to teach you. Document and then delete index. Delete an index. Are you understanding, right? Manual process which I'm showing you.
Yes.
This same process will be done by beats or agent at the huge scale. All of you are clear? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so now the question is, how do we create an index? Guys, using Kibana you can do very easily. But right now I am doing through the command line. So let me show you. So where to go? So I have to go to my code. So here what you are doing? Creating an index. So how to create an index? So this document will help you. So guys, listing index, CRUD operations, listing, pretty shard, these all are commands you have to not list all index, creating an index somewhere here. Okay, so you have to run this command, you have to transform this command. So let's try. So this is a 8, right? So you have to use this one, this one. You have to try. So this command, this is the command which I copied. It's for 7. It will work blindly because authentication not enabled. But for 8, you need to add this one. So X put. Okay. Put means creating. What index name you are creating? Products. Okay. So this is the index name I'm creating. This is the address for it. So curl. Let me try. Copy. Clear the screen. Enter. What is the password? Enter. This got empty from server. So am I in right server or not? Let me close this. I just run this command, right? It's working. Okay, so let's try. There must be some issues in the code. So what is mistake I'm doing? This is copy paste, right? Yes. Okay. Correct. Okay, just let me try with my code. So here, so here just match this. Where is the problem? Okay, maybe this is the first thing, and then user and paste it. This is the better one, and This is one. Let's follow this format. So user elastic password. So I'm going to change this here. Localhost, because I'm running from the same server. This is the index name, and my password is this one, and carefully copy. Yeah. So I created this command in this format, and it should work because last time also I tried this. In 7 it's very easy. What is this? Done. Okay, so there's a space misses. That's the reason I said you just copy paste very carefully and then done. So what I did now, I created one index Rajesh 111. Now let me tell you guys, this tutorial if you follow, everything will work in the 7. Mind it. All this lab which is designed for the 7, not 8, because for the 8 you have additional code and all which you need to address it. So are you comfortable with this? How to create an index, all of you?
Yes.
This is
Just one question. For 8, we have to give some sort of authentication token.
that's what we are doing. No, this is the irritating job, but you have to do that in 8.
Okay.
Got it? So last
Yep.
command it did not work because it has a some format. Export should be there after the curl. So that was a problem in the last command. See, this is not working, and this is working because of only the changes is export. And here what I did, embed the password in the command only because it was irritating me all the time. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, so now I did this here. Now how do we create a document? And for creating a document you can use post. Let me copy paste, it'll be easy. So this is your document. Put, you can use post also, you can use. So here, now understand this very carefully. uh, this is let me change the password because it will not work. This is your pattern. So just focus on this part here. In this, remember that this is the way you have to work with. So this is your what do you say, Elasticsearch IP address. This is the index, and this is what, any idea what is this?
The endpoint.
This is the API. Okay, just now I list out all the API. You have to understand that one also. So this is the API which is here. Cat, if you, oh my god, cat if you do, then it will give you the list of APIs. Now your job is to learn all these APIs. Okay, so here that API, let me see if I can locate. Doc. I can't find in this list of, okay, but this is the API. Okay, this API will help you to create a documents, and what the document ID is one. If you don't give this document ID, it will be generate randomly. Okay, so this is API. Now API, whenever you send the data for, and here what is the type? JSON type, and D means document. What document? Anything which is inside the curly braces, because a JSON, it's a document. And the document, this is a field name, this one, camera, this one, storage, this one. Like if you see that flipkart.com, name, this one, and some fields, highlights, this one, seller, this one. Go little down, it will be easier. Where is the info? Here. So sim type, this one, like that I'm putting up. So I'm correlating, so you'll understand the document. So this is the one document, small document, structured one. Okay, so name and all this stuff. Are you able to understand that?
Yes.
So I'm going to CRUD this document. Let me CRUD this. So go here and enter. Okay, I made some mistake. That mistake is copy, clear the screen. There's something which is missing, and that is, let me check. So here, this is the closing somewhere here. This is closing somewhere here. And oh, see this, that's the reason I said very carefully you need to be. So this is starting and this is the closing, so that I missed it. Will you remember this kind of mistake?
Yep.
Yeah, so I know it's little irritating, but this is how you have to work with to get started with it. Without, this is the CRUD you are doing. After the CRUD I'll teach you the DSL also. DSL means search and all. Done. So one document is created. Now I want to see the document. So how do I do that? So let's go ahead and copy this. And this get, remember the, see that get. Now this certificate, I have to modify this password uh, here. And Rajesh 111 is your what? This one,
Paste
index.
also after
Ha.
password.
And here you are using searching, mind it, searching. And this is a very dangerous command. You should not use it, but just for the learning purpose we are doing. What it will do, it will search whole document. It will, right now I have only one document, so it will give you. But when you have a trillions of millions of document, remember that Flipkart itself will be having millions of pages. So if you run this command, your system will hang actually. So this kind of queries need to be blocked actually. So here, how do you understand? Index, watch API. This is the API, search API. What you are searching? Queries, Q. Remember the Q. Q means query. What? Everything. This is dangerous command. Okay. So run it and see if you have one document or not. Clear the screen. Enter. There's some mistake has happened. We can fix it. What mistake? What is the mistake? I mean, what is the error first? Error is okay. There's a URL problem. So I think copy paste. I need to correct this my notes also. There's a space needed actually. Maybe I might have pasted correctly, but HTML modify this. Mm, mm, let me use the local host instead of, because yeah, I remember that Elasticsearch I'm running. What is this? See that what is the problem? This is the one, Elasticsearch. So this is opening. Uh, okay, this is the problem. My bad. See, this is the one. So opening here, closing here. That is now good. So now you can use IP address also. That's not a problem. Yeah. This is the document which I fed. This is the document. If you look at this here, this is the document. Understood, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now this is the way I taught you only one DSL. So this search is a DSL, mind it. Okay, and this is a CRUD. Put all these are CRUD. So this is something somewhere. If you want to work with Elasticsearch directly, then you can use this one. So now I'll introduce you all these manuals which you have to choose it for this one. So this is a lab one. Okay, like that. This will talk about the CRUD, Elasticsearch. Search for it, and then after that you have to do lab 2, which is bulk indexing. So here we are doing one document, create, read, update, and delete. And here we are doing bulk indexing, means bulk create, read, update, and delete. For the bulk, there is a different API. mget, that's the API which is there. Uh, Now, after that, here you have a DSL query. When you say DSL query, means how do you search, techniques of search. So for this DSL query part 1, part 2, and last one, part 3. Okay, so these are the search queries actually. DSL queries is a search query. So all these things copy paste, you have to do that if you really want to go ahead with it. And all these lab manuals are interdependent. So see here, this you copy, get, get. These techniques are there. Anyways, I will talk about this technique in the analytics section more, but right now I'm getting you comfortable with it. Okay, so you cannot type, you have to copy paste. It has to be copy paste, otherwise it will not work. uh, you can't remember this whole things. See here, this is a document, get. These are the techniques: search, query, match, street, term case. All these techniques I'll talk about it, and so on. So are you comfortable with this part, seeing that how can we work directly with Elasticsearch? This guy was working directly with Elasticsearch. This situation, are you comfortable, all of you? Hello,
Yes.
any questions? Okay, so now we'll go ahead and set up the Logstash and beats. So let's check it out, beats. So hmm. So guys, I will just open up a new console, root, and Rajesh 123. Now beats you can run, mind it, beats you can run, and Logstash you can run using root, no problem. Okay, so how do we run it? So let me show you this. So I have a downloaded, this is the last month file, Logstash and beats. How do you download? These all are latest version 8.8, 8.3 and 8.4. Okay, so now let me show you this beats download. Don't write beats download, elastic beat actually. Beat download, here you have it. So I downloaded the file bit because I want to only show you the file bit. So how do you grab the logs? Okay, you can also install other bits also. In the upcoming sessions, I'll install that agent. Agent will save all these times actually. You don't have to install all these configurations. But installation is very pretty much simple. It's not a difficult. So I downloaded this guy and I downloaded Logstash. Logstash download, how do you get it? So just Logstash download. Mind it, here what I am trying to do, I am always trying to install it through the tarball. Now, is it the right way? I would say till you get very expert, then try through the tarball. Why? Because the advantage of tarball is like you get all sort of files at one place, so that way you can troubleshoot easily and you can learn easily. But when you install that in the production server, then you install through the rpm file or debian file, which will create a services also. Okay, so that way by the time you know that which file will be copied under etc, which file will be copied under opt, and mnt, lib, bin, all this thing, you will know that. Okay, so are you comfortable so far, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have a file bit and Logstash. What I did, I extracted Logstash and here I extracted file bit. Now understand that in the file bit, I need to tell what is your input and what is your output. Correct now, all of you? Sarah, are you with me?
Yes.
Anshu?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see you are not talking, so I thought you have left.
No, no, no. I'm here.
Okay, so in the beats you have to configure input and output. The question is how can I do that and which file to touch. So guys, it's a file bit, remember that. I'm teaching you on bit right now. So just go inside this file, and there is one file which is called filebit.yaml. Will you remember this filebit.yaml? Now this file can be other file also, but I don't want to customize right now. I don't want to complicate. So just remember that filebit.yaml file which you need to remember. Now this file will have what? So this file, you see that very carefully. This file will have configurations for what? Input, and then output. Means take it from somewhere, send it to somewhere. For my case is very simple. Take it from file, send to Logstash. So here input, and this input is enabled. What kind of input? So look at this here. This is a input. This is enabled. This is commented, by the way. Are you understanding, all of you? So now we'll say, Rajesh, what are the other options which we have, which you can specify here? So for that, I have just a second. I have created one dedicated pages for it. Again, come back and enter. And here, how to configure FileBit. That's a tutorial which I did it. I'm doing it. How to install and configure Elastic FileBit. This is the last year tutorial, and this is important. These two files are important. This is error, and so on. So here, this is the configuration, and you see that complete detail you have it. Whatever I'm teaching you, and output you can be Elasticsearch or Logstash. It's up to you. Okay. So this is the Kibana. This is the directly Elasticsearch, and blah blah blah. Okay, this is also same tutorial, so you can check it out a little bit later offline with Aramse. Now, so here you have input. What is the input you are taking? So I'm taking the reading the all the Linux log. See here, there's a regular expression, all the Linux log. But where you are sending, go down, spend 30 minutes with this file, each and everything you would study. What is output? So here output is, there's a general settings, dashboard settings, Kibana settings. No, I'm not sending to out Kibana and stuff like that. And Elastic Cloud output here. So are you sending directly to Elasticsearch? I commented this out. No, I'm not sending to that. By default, it's enabled. So where you want to send it? I want to send it to Logstash. What is the Logstash running? So I'll be running the Logstash in the same server. The port number on which the Logstash can be forwarded to, remember the log can be forwarded to after the collection is 5044. That's all. Input and output. Are you comfortable, all of you?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Any questions, any doubts? Anyone? Pankaj, Gulam, Tehseen? Hello? Hello? I'm audible, right?
For me, everything is clear.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I showed you this. Just a second, hold on. So I showed you this is the way input and output every time you have to set in the beats. That's right. So the beats will send the input output to the Logstash. Let me show you the Logstash configurations. So I extracted, and in the Logstash there is one file which is called pipeline file. Where is this? So see, mind it here. Logstash configuration file is inside a config, which I'm not touching it. Okay, this is the configuration file. Okay, right now I'm
Hello,
not
can you
touching
hear
it.
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so in the Logstash, any configuration you want to do, logstash.yaml. Right now, this is not the my file. In this is a my important file. Okay, this is the file. Now, my question is, will that be available? See, you may not be seeing this file, but you have to create it. Okay, so now what will be the content of this file? You have to understand what will be the content. So the content of this file is, this is the Logstash, right? The content, very simple concept. Input from some source, in my case is a beats, process in the pipeline, this is called filter, and send output to Elasticsearch. Very simple. So there is a three section: input, filter, output. Are you comfortable? Let me show you.
Yes.
Very simple. Fine. So here, see that where you are taking the input. I am taking the input on this port number 5044, which is a Logstash beat port. Beats, receive that from the beats. Okay, fine. After that, what is your filter? So here you can do the filter, second part. And where you want to send it after the filtering, output. Where is that? This has to be changed, I guess. No, it's the same machine. Yeah. So Elasticsearch is the same machine, local host only. And where you need to center. Now, the only difference is, guys, in the 7, you don't need this one. That's all. Are you getting my points? In the 7, you don't need this one. In 8, you need that one because authentication is enabled by default. Correct, now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's all. So please remember these steps always. In 8, always it's little bit irritating for me also, but you have to respect that changes. Okay, so now which index it will store all this data, whatever received, Raju. So are you comfortable with the Logstash and beats part? What need to be configured? All of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's check it out. So I need a two console actually. I'm not running the background, so I need so many console actually. So root Rajesh 123. So I'm going to run the this one go OPT. I'm running the beats first. Okay, so I'm running the beats first. To go to the beat, and there's a specific command which is including this file, and the command is I have here. See that. This is the command. So first give the permissions. And after that run this command. Uh, yeah. So this command will run in the background. That's okay. So that's okay. So now this is done. Now what I will do, I'm running the Logstash. So Logstash bin manually I'm running. Now you have to add this pipeline code. This pipeline. So how do I run it? So I need my tutorial commands. All this you will get it just like I'm getting in. You can also get it. Get comfortable with this website. Where is that? This all are reference material for here. Okay, so here all this example you will see here. Output, input, filter. This is CSB. This is a CSB plugin, and output. Where to CSB only. Output and here to show the output to the console also. CSV. This is the input, output. Like that, you can see multiple tutorials here. But right now, that's not my objective. I want to run a Logstash. So how do I run it? This is input, filter, output. So where is the command for that? Here it is. So this command will do, no, this command. So this command what will do? This command will run this pipeline, check the test the config file and exit it. It will not do anything. But this command will load this pipeline file and reload it and run automatically. So this is I need it. Okay. So dot just a second, here's the screen. This is the pwd and run. Okay, I run the Logstash. So you see that whole connections I did this. So remember that again. I'm repeating. Logstash started sending to the beats started sending to the Logstash. Logstash setting the input, filter, output you can and send to Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch you have a data, and this part I have shown you earlier. Now next part also I'll show you sometime. So just let's wait for it. So now this is beats. This is the beats, okay, and this is a Logstash. This is your Elasticsearch. Now I want to check the Raju has come or not. Remember that. What was the index name? I hope you remember that. Anyone remember that or not? Raju was the index name for this. Correct now? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I need to list the index. How do I do that? So for that I need a command. In the command I am having it. Where is that? Not this. CRUD command we had. This one. So not this. Lab. Always refer the lab documents. This is DSL3, DSL2. Let me close all this thing. Example of popular queries. Let me search for that. Elasticsearch. Enter. Lab1 CRUD. And for listing that indexes, you have a command which is this one. This API you have to call. The only thing is, trouble in it is you have to create that properly. So this is the command, and after that, this is the one. Yeah, so this one will list the indexes. Let's check it out. Clear the screen. Okay, so there's a problem, I think, somewhere. There is a problem. Okay, this is the format. HTTPS data localhost cat indices. And so see, Rajesh was there previously. It has not come. Let's wait for it. So I'll run this command and search for Raju. Okay. So now I want to check that. See. Okay, let me see the error. I did not notice the error, assuming that it will work. But here it says there is a problem. So see here, this is the Logstash. No, this is the beats. Mind it. Look at the title of the putty session. This is the beat. Beat is working fine. There's no error. But Logstash, there is error. What error? So it says,
Authentication, it's
so it says dead ES instant, elastic localhost 401 error, means 401. So 401 why? Okay. Any idea why is this 401? Any idea?
was it firewall?
No. Password I did not change. No, that was a problem.
Okay.
Elasticsearch password I did not change. It was the old password. Let me correct this. No problem. So go to vi config logstash.yaml. Okay, not here. Sorry. First pipeline, and here password I did not change. That was a problem.
This is document password.
It's an Elasticsearch password.
Yes, which is in the document, like which is
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
blog.
yeah. This password. Yeah, save it and run it. This time it should be okay. Please wait for it. Let me see that. Hmm, info is okay, wonderful. And you know what? It connected this time. I see that. See that Elasticsearch is creating a pipeline and sending the data. Now, probably right now, if you are experiencing these logs first time, you will not understand. But the more you spend time with this tool, then you'll start understanding these lines. What is the meaning of it? Because you will have a little bit of troubleshooting, struggling, and all. You will automatically get to know. So what to do now? Last thing which I want to do, check the Raju has come or not. So right now it has not come. Just wait for a few seconds more, because see right now it will send the data from here. Right now, okay, it's see started the server. Right now Logstash has not sent the data. So now it started the server. Now, sorry, not Logstash. Beat has not sent the data. So just wait for it. It has a certain interval default set. So now just wait for it. Next time when we'll get it any logs, you will have it. This is a Logstash. I mean, this is the beats. See that. And if you're not having this window, then probably you will think it's not working. So you should see during the learning time, don't run in the background, because you will not have that visibility. So beats has to run one more time. So beats will run, collect the data, whatever it is. What you can do, you can create some trouble in the system. So sudo create a more log, install git or something like that. uh, what is this? Rajesh 123. I think it has detected something. You have to do something in the system, so log will be generated. So let me open up new console actually. Root. I don't remember the password. That's a problem. So sudo, I mean yum install git. So this will create some logs in the that directory which I'm monitoring. Okay. So that way it will help me. So still has not come. So everything is running, there is no error, but the only thing you have to wait for the beats to collect the new log, and beats will not run until the files got changed. That is the problem. So file has to be changed. So for changing the file, I am running some commands like this. Okay, so here beats will capture the data. Logstash, you will see that here, processing the pipeline. Here there's nothing has come right now. Pipeline is running, but it's not received any data. And after that, here uh, we'll see the the one which is created, and then work is done. So let's wait for it. There's no index right now. Mm, still not detecting. uh, I'm removing just to generate a log. You can also do, you know what, you can see that which file has been copied. So if you think it's you don't have a patience, you can hard code the file name. So go to the opt, go to the beats file beats, which is collector, and vi file bit.yaml, and here You can, if you think you don't have a this one, then hard code this. So var log, you want to send some file. So ls var log, and here whichever the log. So see that yum log is there, and boot log. Only these two files will be collected, yum and boot. So boot log anyways will not be refreshed. Yum log, I just run yum command, so it should refresh. Let me check the yum log timing LRT, and it was last modified. I'm showing you all these things, so it will help you to troubleshoot. Like this, you have to troubleshoot. See here. So this file got modified this time. Right now it's this. So now it should be sending. There's no issues I see. So it's taking time actually. And there's no error also, so just wait for it, a few seconds more. And meanwhile I'll do, okay, now it has run, I guess. Yes, I think it has run. Still it's not receiving actually. Let me pause that. Meanwhile, unnecessary record will be there.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so this is the beats. This is the, so beat I will start one more time. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, uh, some activities here, Logstash, which is not happening. Config file loading is completed. Now next run, it should send the log. Okay, do one thing. Let's cancel the beat. I'm going to hard code some file because I don't know whether this is really changing. On detection has to happen. This file also I can modify, or let's go for any file is modified now. Mlog is there. It's 1221. So you see that none of the file modified after that. Okay, I'll hard code this yum.log. So let me hard code this file vi filebit.yaml. Go to Elastic Input, file system. Okay. Did you see this? What's the problem? Guys, did you see that problem here?
No.
Just notice, Sarah, any problem you see in this configuration?
Excuse me?
What is the problem in this configuration? Anshul?
I'm looking at it, sir.
It was file bit was not working. Logstash was working, file bit was not working, not sending the data. So what was the problem here?
Uh, the
Path
path
is
is
not added.
the path is not uncommented.
Which one?
Path.
Path is there, no, it's uncommented here. See, this is for Windows, this is for Linux. It's
Okay.
uncommented. Actually, the problem is, noticed this kind of problem will eat up your time also. So please notice.
Okay.
Enabled true. That means that this input was enabled, but it was not enabled for acting and collecting the data. Now it should work.
What is the purpose of this configuration? I like.
This file will take the input from some place and send the output to Logstash. This file.
Yes. Why would it be why would we keep it as false? What is the use case for false?
No, it was default setting actually. Default was false. I have to enable it to make it true.
Okay.
So should be okay this time. So established, this connection is established. Now it should send the data. Okay, I should do some yum install somehow. Let me do one install. Install kit -y. So I don't think so there's any error now. Remove. Install. Still not collecting the data. Let me try one more time. More file bit dot YAML input, correct, unique ID enable TRUE, enable true, configuration this is true, path this is true, and let me see that output to the Logstash, and Logstash this is true, it's running on same server. I saw the connected, everything's correct, there's no problem in the file. So now let me check this. Still has not taken. Clear the screen. Yep, you got it. You got it. So let me show you final things. So where is the command for listing the indices? I created just now here. Enter. Here it is. Raju is here. Now how many documents you stored? 642 documents. So that means if you theoretically if you see that in these machines, go to the var log and here wc-l Linux command. How many lines you have in this? 46. And how many lines you have in this? Page 64. So somewhere 648 right now. And how many documents is got collected? That means 642. That means it might have, if you rerun, it might have been old. So after that index has to happen. Understood now? All of you?
Yes, for every line it is create a document, right?
Yes, for every line it will become a one document. Okay, now the final thing. So this setup is done. Now this beats will always collect the data, send to the Logstash. Logstash will send to Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch will, using the Kibana, you can access the Elasticsearch. So how do we do that? So let me work on the Kibana part now. This is the Kibana part. So where is the Kibana? See, it was here, no? Uh, so many windows open. Even I got confused. I think it's here. Yeah. So let's access the Kibana. And now, what to do? I want to discover it. What to do? You have to create. You have a data in Elasticsearch now. Let's create a data view. So how do you do that? So before that, you have to create an index pattern. Uh, Let me create a data view. So if there is no index pattern, then you will not see this data. Okay, so you have to create index pattern. So how many index you have? Rajesh 111 and Raju 2. So I want to search for Raju. So this is a name, you can give it whatever you want, and this is a regular expression. Let's say why this pattern is there. Let's say you have a 10 index and you want to search in the 10 index. So how do you should do that? So something like this Raju star, if you do, then you will get it that pattern created. Are you understanding this pattern? Multiple such things. If you want to hard code, this is also okay. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
And so you created a pattern name with Raju, the pattern, because I have only two index, so there is no pattern I can create. Okay, yeah, Raj, you can do that, no? Yeah, Raj pattern you can do. See here, two index pattern, two sources. Okay, so like that you can do that. Raju is right now for my target, and which is the timestamp field. So of course by default they will add this timestamp. These are some of the fields are default for the each login, each collector. So save data view to the Kibana, and now you need to learn two language. What you have to learn? Tell me what you need to learn.
AQL and DSL.
DSL, yes, yes. This is what you have to do. Analysis, in official terminology, analysis we call it. Analyze the data. But I call it discovery because why? Because here itself is called discovery. Okay. So what you want to do here? Now this you have to learn KQL for that. Search the filter your data using KQL syntax. You want to search error. I want to see how many errors you have. Okay, this is the error. I got the error. We have to create a dashboard and alerts based on this error. So I'm just putting in a very simple way. I'll teach you the KQL also. Separate sessions will be there for KQL. Make sense? All of you?
Yes.
You want to decide the timeline. So let's say right now I think this server is running from last 30 days and all. So like you can decide 30 days and all. 642. But how many lines I got it today? So today all are just a second. All are today only, in fact. Last week only one extra. Yeah, like that. Depends on the timestamp. All this thing will be done. So this is something which you have to understand. Clear now? Whole chain. Did you understand that how to set up? Now most of the time will be spent here, and of course agent is pending for the SRE team that will do that. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, guys. So we'll have one session, follow-up sessions for SRE team, and then analytics topics also will be covered in the separate session actually, because I think Sarah has some different requirement, and other team, SRE team has some different requirement. So now onwards, so we'll intimate you the separate session. How can you get started with SRE work or analytics work. So this was the common topic for all of us. Any questions on that?
No, thank you.
No.
Okay. So
Ramesh,
guys,
Are you going
could
to
you
have
please
separate session for that?
hello, one by one.
Yes, I
Hello.
was asking about the session. Are we going to have separate session for?
Yes, yes, because I just now learned that requirement is for the both participants are different. One is you guys, some guys are trying for SRE side, but some guys have joined in this session for analytics also. So I need to discuss with Patrick for this and then intimate you.
Okay.
Yeah, but this whatever the topic we covered, it was a common for all of us. Whether you are admin side or either you are security side, DevSecOps. Anyone from the DevSecOps course here? Anyone from DevSecOps batch? No. Okay, SRE we have most of us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So common for DevSecOps also. So anyways, so yeah, we'll have a separate session for SRE specific topic. SRE basically what we'll do, we'll install the agent and collect the metrics and APM and all and dashboard alerting now. So that will be done in one session. For Sarah, analytics will be done. That more or less, too much of queries and lots of other algorithm has to be used for her. Okay. Any other question? Any last questions before I, finish this session?
Good, sir. You're going to share the recording there, right?
Yes, yes. I think we had a 3 hours of class almost. I'll send it to you. It will be long recording, so I'll send it to you after few hours because it will take some time to process.
Okay.
Even the text file